Hello children, now we are going to see about the reproduction health and about the health and hygiene you have to practice in your daily life. So in this video we will see all these topics in detail. Now, this is the third part of your lesson. So we will start from the reproduction health. So based on the reproduction area, how you have to maintain the health. So all these will be coming under this topic. We'll see. So according to WHO means World Health Organization, reproductive health means a total well-being in all aspects of reproduction, ability to reproduce and regulate fertility and safe childbirth and maternal and infant survival and well-being. So, according to World Health Organization, they have explained the reproductive health. So, that means a total well-being in all aspects of reproduction. So, on all the aspects, on all the categories, a well-being should be there in reproduction. The ability to reproduce. So, the human being should be able to reproduce and regulate fertility. So, they should be able to have a safe childbirth. The fertility, the process should be in a very healthy manner. It should regulate fertility and safe childbirth and maternal and infant survival. So during the delivery time, the mother and the infant, the baby should be safe and well-being, about their well-being. So these are all comes under the reproduction health, reproductive health. So this is the definition given according to World Health Organization. About getting pregnant, it should be in a very healthy manner, it should be in a very safe manner. The child should give birth in a very safe manner. The health of the mother and the baby should be at a very good, it should be well-being should be there and it should survive. The mother or the baby should not die. So these are all comes under reproduction health. The measures taken by the government to improve reproductive health by launching national health programs. So what happened for these well-being, for the well-being of the mother, for the well-being of the baby. So what happens? The government of India has been given the national health programs for the safety, to improve the reproductive health. They have given certain measures and they have launched national health programs. So we are going to see the national health programs based on the reproductive health. First program is the Family Welfare Program. Family Welfare Program. So under this, the maternal and child health. The health of the mother and the child should be seen. Then immunization of mother, infant and children. About the immunization means they have to be, the immune has to be good so that they do not get affected by the disease easily. So that immunization should be seen in the mother, in the born babies and in the children. Then the nutritional supplement to pregnant women, infants and children. So what are the types of food that they are taking, whether they are getting proper nutrients. So that all will be seen under the nutritional supplement to pregnant, the women who is pregnant, for the born babies and for the children will be seen under which program? Family Welfare Program. And contraception with health education, motivate couples to accept contraceptive methods and have small family loans to improve economic status, living and quality of life. So contraception means it is a method to stop getting pregnant. So that is called as contraception. So contraception with health education. So they have to know the importance of contraception. And it should be motivated among the couple so that they accept the contraceptive method so that they can have a small family. If they have a small family, the economic status also will improve and the living and the quality of life also will improve. So they should know the importance of contraception. What are the benefits if they opt the contraceptive method? So that education should be given among couples. So these are the 4 points under the family welfare program. Next program is the reproductive and child health care. Reproductive and the child health care. So under this program, it is an integrated all services. So all types of services, all types of on all the aspects and categories, the health of the infant, mother, children will be seen. So it is an integrated all service that improve the pregnancy and childbirth. It controls the pregnancy and childbirth. It sees the pregnancy of the woman, whether they are getting proper treatment, whether they are getting proper food, whether they are getting proper medicine. So those all will be seen, and the childbirth. So during the delivery time also, this program will see to it. And postnatal care of mother and child. So after the childbirth, the care of the mother and the child is seen. And importance of breastfeeding. So the benefits of breastfeeding, how the child will develop healthily due to breastfeeding. So those all also will be under importance of breastfeeding. They will create an awareness about the breastfeeding to the mothers who are pregnant. And prevention of reproductive tract infection and sexually transmitted disease. So through the reproductive tract, whether it may be male or female, through that some infections may occur. So to prevent those and to prevent the through sexually transmitted diseases like AIDS, syphilis. So those diseases also should be prevented under this program. So these are all the functions of this reproductive and health care program. Next, we are going to see the population explosion and family planning. We are going to see about the population explosion and the family planning. So what happens at sudden and rapid rise in the size of population. So what happens suddenly? The population has increased very rapidly. So realizing the danger, the government of India taken measures to check population and introduce family planning. So since the population has increased, it is not good for the society and the environment. Too much of goods is needed. They have to live in a very compact area when more number of people are when the population increases. So there are many harmful effects. So you already know what are the harmful effects. So realizing those dangers, what happened? The government of India has taken measures to check population and introduce family planning. So if couples opt the family planning method, so the number of babies getting born will reduce due to this. So what happened? The government of India, they gave importance to family planning. They created an awareness on family planning among the couples and the people and to reduce the population. The government of India has taken measures. So the India is the first country to launch national-wide family planning program in 1952. So in 1952 itself, India is only the first country to launch the national-wide family planning program. And the family planning should be voluntarily adopted by couples. So they should come in front and they should opt the family planning method. So based on knowledge and responsible decision to promote health and welfare of the family group and society. So that decision should be made in a very responsible manner to promote health and welfare of the family and the society. And the World Health Organization also stressed the importance of family planning as the global strategy health for all. So, World Health Organization also it gave importance to the family planning. They took it as a global strategy for the welfare. So, these are the points under population explosion and about the family planning. So, I will give you a small recap from the first. We saw what is reproduction health. So, according to World Health Organization, reproductive health means a total well-being in all aspects of reproduction, the ability to reproduce and regulate fertility and safe childbirth and maternal and infant survival and well-being. So, measures have been taken by the government to improve reproductive health by launching the National Health Program. So, the first program is Family Welfare Program. Under this, the maternal and child health is being seen. Immunization of mother and infant children is being monitored, and nutritional supplement to pregnant women, infants and children is being monitored. Contraception with health education, motivate couples to accept contraceptive methods, have small family norms to improve economic status and living and quality of life. So, when small family is there, the quality and economic status of the family will improve. The next program is the reproductive and child health care. It is an integrated. It is being joined. Many different categories of reproductive health has been come under a single program. The integrated services, all services that include pregnancy and childbirth, postnatal care of mother and child after the delivery, importance of breastfeeding, prevention of reproductive infection and sexually transmitted disease. Next is about the population explosion and family planning. A sudden and rapid rise in the size of population. So, realizing the danger, Government of India took certain measures to check population and introduce family planning. India is the first country to launch national-wide family planning program in 1952. Family planning should be voluntarily adopted by the couples based on knowledge and responsible decision to promote health and welfare of the family group and society. World Health Organization also stressed the importance of family planning as the global strategy health for all. So, we saw about the population explosion, the rapid explosion. Due to rapid explosion, the Government of India has promoted the family planning method to decrease the population. So, the other than family planning, the contraception. So, in the program, the family welfare program itself, you would have heard the term contraception. So, I told you to stop the birth of the child, to stop getting pregnant, that process is called as contraception. So, we are going to see those methods in detail now. So, contraception is the one of the best childbirth control measure. So, to stop the birth of the child, it is one of the best methods. Number of methods developed to prevent pregnancy, or many methods have been developed to prevent pregnancy. Some of the methods are, first is the barrier method. So, it prevents the sperm meeting the ovum. So, it prevents the sperm meeting the ovum. Female reproductive tract is being prevented. So, the female reproductive tract is being covered in this barrier method. So, under barrier method, few examples are given. First is condom. It prevents deposition of sperms in the vagina. So, it stops the deposition of sperms in the vagina. This condom is made up of thin rubber or latex sheet. Thin rubber or latex sheet. And it protects sexually transmitted diseases like AIDS and syphilis. So, when there is a barrier in the vagina, what happens? It prevents the sexually transmitted diseases like AIDS or syphilis. So these are the points coming under HANA. Next is diaphragm. So after this, another example, it is fitted. This also is fitted in the vagina. Diaphragm is fitted in the vagina, whereas condom will be fixed in the male reproductive tract. So it prevents the entry of sperms. It prevents the entry of sperms. Then next method. So we saw barrier. What is barrier method? We saw what is barrier method, and two examples we saw. Next is the hormonal method. So hormonal preparation in the form of pills. So hormonal pills is being produced through tablets. Hormones stop the release of eggs, so it will be taken by the female so that the releasing of eggs will be stopped. Next is the intrauterine device. Intrauterine device inserted into the uterus. So this device, intrauterine device, will be inserted into the vagina, the uterus. Two synthetic devices are used in India. So two types of devices have been used in India. The names are Lippes loop and copper T. Lippes loop and copper T. It is made up of copper and plastic. It remains for 3 years of period. So that device is being fitted inside the female. Some of the examples are Lippes loop or copper T. It will be fixed inside the uterus. It stays for 3 years of period, and after that it has to be removed. It reduces sperm fertilizing. So the fertilizing capacity will be reduced. Gives adequate time interval between pregnancy. So after pregnancy, if this device is being fixed, it will give a time during pregnancy. So after the birth of the child, the mother won't get pregnant immediately. This gives a gap between the interval between the pregnancies. The fourth is the surgical method. Terminal method to prevent pregnancy. So this also is a method to prevent pregnancy. So in male, vasectomy. So through surgery, the pregnancy can be stopped. So if the operation is done in male, it is known as vasectomy. So in female, it is known as tubectomy. So the operation will be done in fallopian tube for male and vas deferens in male. Female, fallopian tube, male, vas deferens. The process is known as vasectomy in male. In female, it is known as tubectomy. Next is the urinary tract infection. Next, we are going to see about the urinary tract infection. So we saw about the contraception, the types. First is the barrier method. We saw then hormonal method, intrauterine device. So these are the three methods for contraception. And next is urinary tract infection. Women are susceptible to urinary tract infection from bacteria present on skin and vagina. So they are easily getting infected. Women? The urine infection takes place due to the bacteria present in the skin and in the vagina. So this will enter the urethra before moving upwards. So before moving upwards, what will happen? It will enter inside. So that due to that only the infection takes place. The types of urinary tract infection are cystitis or bladder infection. So this bacteria in urinary bladder, it thrive and multiply causing inflammation. So what happens? The bacteria in the urinary bladder, it multiplies faster and causes inflammation. So it takes place around the age of 20 to 50 years. Next is kidney infection. Kidney affects the bacteria affects the kidney, infects blood and leads to life-threatening complications. So the bacteria will enter into the urinary bladder, and what happens? It affects the kidney and causes a life-threatening situation, complications. The third is the asymptomatic bacteriuria. So what happens? Presence of bacteria in the urinary bladder but no symptoms. So the bacteria will be present in the urinary bladder but no symptoms is seen. So that is called as asymptomatic bacteriuria. So cystides means bacteria present in urinary bladder and they will multiply. That is called as cystides. Kidney means the bacteria will enter into the kidney and it will cause life-threatening situations, and asymptomatic means it will enter into the urinary bladder and it does not reveal any symptoms. That is called as asymptomatic bacteria. Now the next topic is about the personal hygiene. So the practice of healthy living and personal cleanliness. So you know what is hygiene? Being clean and opting very clean and hygiene activities are known as hygiene, and it's all about cleanliness. So you know how to keep your body clean, you know how to keep your surrounding clean. So it is just a recap for you to how to be hygiene, how to be clean. So hygiene means what? Practice of having a healthy life and having a personal cleanliness means your own self. Keeping your own self clean is known as personal cleanliness. So next is carrying one's own body. Like I said, carrying your own body cleanly and healthily is known as personal hygiene. Social hygiene means keeping your surrounding clean. Proper care of your surrounding environment is known as social hygiene. Main aspect are body, food hygiene and sanitary hygiene. So the main categories under hygiene, personal hygiene are body hygiene, like keeping your body clean, the food hygiene, so eating in a proper utensils, eating in a proper place, the process of cooking should be very clean. So those all comes under food hygiene. And sanitary hygiene. So these are all the main aspects of personal hygiene, and the hygienic environment is also included here. Next is body hygiene. Washing is vital to all age and maintains body hygiene. So you have to wash your body, you have to bathe regularly at all ages to maintain body hygiene. So if you bathe only, your body will be clean. So that is what is mentioned here. And daily bathe keeps skin clear, free from germs. So if you take bathe daily, what happens? Your skin also is very clear and you are free from germs. Hair should be kept clean by washing. So hair also should be very clean by washing. And mouth wash after every meal. After taking in every meal, the mouth should be washed. Wash your hands frequently. So this is a pandemic time. Corona also is being spreading here and there. What they tell you have to wash your hand regularly. Sanitize your hands. So that is what is mentioned everywhere. So these are all general hygiene. In this also, wash your hands. You should wash your hands regularly. So cloth towels to dry hands or body. So cloth towels made of cloth should be used to dry your hands and your body after each use. So after using, you should wash the clothes also regularly. Clothes, handkerchief, undergarments and socks should be washed daily. So these clothes should be washed daily. The clothes, handkerchiefs, undergarments and socks should be washed daily. Washing prevents body odor, infection and skin irritation. So what happens if you wash, if you keep bathing regularly, you won't get bad odor, smell. You won't get the bad smell, you won't get any infection and skin irritation also does not happen. But if you don't bathe regularly, these are the things that will happen. Next we saw body hygiene. Next is the toilet hygiene. Toilet has lots to do with personal hygiene and general health. So it is related to the personal health and the general health. It takes place that cannot be avoided and used regularly. So toilet is a place that we cannot be avoided and it has to be used regularly. Parental guidance to children on usage of toilets at house, schools and public places. So parents should give guidance to the children like how to use the toilets in schools, houses, in public places. The method should be taught by the parents. It will prevent many contagious infections and disease. So if the toilet hygiene is maintained regularly, it will protect from many contagious, means the disease that spread is called as contagious. So those type of infection and diseases can be controlled. Now I am going to tell a few measures on toilet hygiene. So we saw what are the importance of toilet hygiene and the children should learn the toilet hygiene. It will prevent from the contagious diseases. So these are the measures for toilet hygiene. The floors of the toilet should be maintained clean and dry. The floor should be clean and dry. It helps to reduce bad odor and also infection. So if the water is standing there always, what happens? A bad odor comes and infection also takes place. So when the toilet is very dry and clean, what happens? You won't get any bad odor and the infection also can be prevented. So toilet flush handles, door knobs, the latch used for opening the door, the faucets, the taps, paper towel dispensers, light switches and walls should be clean. So other than cleaning the toilet, the flush handle, the door knob, the faucets, the paper towel dispensers, the light switches and walls also should be cleaned with disinfectant. So those are the sanitizers to kill germs and bacteria. For other than cleaning the toilet, all these also should be cleaned to prevent infection and to kill the germs. Hands should be washed before and after using toilet. So before using the toilet and after using the toilet also, the hands should be washed. Next first we saw body hygiene, then we saw toilet hygiene. Now we are going to see about the menstrual and napkin hygiene. Menstrual and napkin hygiene. So women's health depends on the level of cleanliness to keep them free from skin and genitally urinary tract infections. So what happens? The menstrual during periods time, the napkin hygiene also is important. The menstrual hygiene also is very important. So based on the level of that only, the infections of women can be prevented. First, we are going to see about the menstrual hygiene, important for overall health of women. So this menstrual hygiene is very important for women. For the full whole bodily health, it is very important. So sanitary pads should be changed regularly. The pads that they are using during the periods time should be changed regularly to avoid infections due to microbes from vagina and sweat from genitals. So from the sweat from the genitals and vagina, the infections that are present, if they use the pads for a prolonged time, what happens? Infection takes place. So it has to be changed regularly. Use warm water to clean genitals and to get rid of menstrual cramps. So during menstrual time, what happens? You get pains, bodily pains and all you get. So during that time, if you use warm water to wash your genitals, it will be better. The cramps will be a little better. Then next is wearing loose clothes rather than tight clothes for free airflow of genitals. So during menstrual time, what you should wear? The clothes should be very loose, not very tight clothes should be wear. A free flow, airflow of genitals should be there. So you should wear loose clothes. Next is napkin hygiene. Guidance of parents and teachers among school girls on awareness of sanitary usage and disposal. So parents and teachers should guide the school girls how to dispose of pad, how to use it. So those things should be taught to the school girls. So sanitary pads and periods, menstrual time, should be covered and disposed. So if you should not throw just like that. It should be covered with any newspaper or cover or anything, and then it should be disposed. So by covering and throwing it, what happens? The infection is not being spread. So it should be covered properly and disposed to avoid infection. It should not be flushed in the toilet. It should not, the sanitary pads and napkins should not be flushed in the toilet. Napkin incinerators. So these are machines. What they will do? They will burn the napkins. So these napkin incinerators can be used for disposing napkins. So incineration means burning. So burning these napkin incinerators can also be used for disposal of napkins. So that's all for the lesson. You have learned all these topics. So try to go through the lesson and also compare the video also and see if you have any doubt. If you go through the video and the book, you will get an idea about all the topics. Thank you, children.